Welcome to the Two Cool Parents Podcast with your host, Will and Shay.
Hey, y'all.
What's good?
Our podcast is for the cool but corny in all of us.
CBC.
Like, subscribe, rate, share. Tune in, y'all.
Let's go.
Hey.
I'm still on West Coast time.
It's the weekend.
I'm still on West Coast time. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Two Cool Parents Podcast with your host, Will and Shay. That was Shay. I'm Will. Again, we thank you, everyone, for tuning in, listening to us, subscribing, sharing, listening across the country. I'm really excited about across the country thing. Yes.
We'll be delving into that.
We'll be delving into it a little bit more.
Deeply.
But again, please like, subscribe, share. Find us on Twitter at Two Cool Parents, Instagram, Two Cool Parents Podcast, Facebook, Two Cool Parents, the website, Two Cool Parents. You can find us on SoundCloud, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Podcasts, Stitcher. You name the podcast platform, we're on it. All right. But we thank you all for tuning in and just, being patient with us because, we didn't get a chance to put one out earlier this week because we just got back from West Coast. I'm still on West Coast time, guys. I've been back home for 4 days. I'm still
Will didn't want to leave.
It's 12 o'clock, 12:15 in the afternoon.
It's later than that.
No, it's 3 o'clock here. It's 12:15 in the afternoon.
Oh, you mean what time is it over there?
Yeah, I'm on West Coast time. Maybe that's the reason why I'm late all the time, because I'm on West Coast time. But yeah, Shay, you want to share what we did in Vegas, or what took us to Vegas? Or
yeah,
what's
I'm
going
gonna
on?
back it up a bit and just like always, thank everyone for tuning in. To our international listeners, thank you.
Yeah, shout out.
As always, our supporters. We love you, we thank you, and we're gonna get into the groove of this a little bit more. As Will and I kind of figure out our recording schedule, we're definitely going to be more consistent. We vowed to be more consistent, so
yeah, it's just around the kids. The kids are a little bit more.
It's one kid, the little one.
Yes,
yeah.
The mama's boy.
Oh, thank you, babe. All right, so we had the amazing opportunity to head out west. This was not my first trip out to the West Coast. But
it was
definitely Will's first time crossing time zones. And so we had the opportunity to host a dear friend of ours' wedding. So I was the...
Shout out to Merchandise 2019.
Yeah. I kind of handled the day of logistics. And Will did the groom's custom suit, which looked amazing, by the way, babe.
Yeah, I got a lot of great compliments for Yancy's suit. And, shout out to Yancy and Dana and the whole merchant family.
Beautiful family, just beautiful energy. The whole wedding weekend was wonderful. It was really just a great opportunity to be around so much love.
Yeah, shout out to everybody from Queens who came out. Shout out to everybody from Hampton University who was able to make it out. Shout out to the whole New Face family who was able to come out. We had a great time out in Vegas.
It definitely was dope. Dope occasion to be out there. And so Will and I decided to extend the vacation and kind of actually get in a couple of days for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, we, immediately did our wedding thing and then kind of just chilled. So we did the strip.
It was our first vacation in 4 years since we bought the house and when London was about 2 years old.
The importance of going on vacation by yourself,
Not by
as
yourself,
husband
but
and wife.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah. I think it's super important. It's something that we vowed that we would continue to do. Maybe do 2 vacations a year, one with the family as a whole, and then
one by ourselves. Yeah.
And so I think in this vacation we may have found, our forever place, or at least the.
Well, let's start from the beginning about our trip out there. So we flew out of BWI. For those who don't know, that's Baltimore Washington International Thurgood Marshall Airport. Shout out to Thurgood Marshall.
The best airport to fly out.
The best airport to fly out.
I really don't care.
Right.
Shout out to BWI.
We flew out. Shout out to Southwest for
Are they paying us for this?
No, I'm gonna say shout out because never know.
Okay.
Look, right now we flying on them. We're flying with them, not flying on them.
Thanks for their $49 flight.
$49 flight. See,
Appreciate that. Keep them coming. For those who don't know, check out Southwest whenever they have their $49 deals. It's not always $49, but you
it's
can
a
get a really
ballpark.
good deal.
It's a ballpark.
And so we got a really good deal on our flights by flying not to Vegas, to LA.
Yeah, we flew from BWI to LA. So our first flight going out west, we flew into Chicago Midway. So let me tell y'all something, right? So we get off we're stuck on the runway coming in, and our connecting flight to LAX was on the other side of the world at Midway. So Shay and I are running, and we both had on, and I said Shay wanted to wear these nice, cute, sparkly shoes to the airport.
They probably would have worked though, because they were the sneakers.
Whatever, but I was like, "Boo, you gotta go through TSA. You gotta take them off. You gotta put them back on. This is wear your sneakers." So she wore her sneakers. I wore my sneakers, of course. And by the time we got off the plane, I'm like, "Yo, we gotta go." So we're sitting next to this cool gentleman. He was former Navy. He and I got the joke. So if you don't know the joke about Navy and Air Force pilots, especially if some of them become commercial airline pilots, is that Navy pilots hit the runway so hard because they're so used to taking off of aircraft carriers. So we hit the runway so hard on the landing, and I was like, "Sir, he must be a Navy pilot." He was like, "Yeah, he's a Navy pilot." So it was a good inside joke there. But we had to run from Terminal A all the way to Terminal B, and we were like kicking it. But the thing is, we weren't the only one. A flight from Detroit was late too, but then it took another additional 20 plus minutes because they had to put our bags on. And I was very conscientious of this, so I took the groom's suit with me as my carry-on. I was like, I'm not letting this suit leave my sight. This suit's coming with me everywhere we go. So that was a smart decision on my end. But then the captain of the plane said, "Hey, your suitcase is made it on. You're ready to go. Let's go to LAX."
And that is so important. There is nothing worse than getting to your destination and your suitcase is not there. That's happened to me before. So this was just, I'm like, look, hold up the plane. I appreciate it. So
right.
Thank you for whoever radioed over and said that.
We got bags coming.
We got bags coming. We got people coming, because you know how they do. Usually they close that door and you can't get on the plane. So yes, Will and I ran through Midway. Anybody who flies often knows midday Chicago, midday Atlanta, it's hit or miss.
Right.
So I already knew going into this that it might be a situation. What I didn't know was that we were going to be 20 minutes late leaving the gate out of Baltimore.
Right.
For whatever reason, I don't think they ever said it was paperwork.
Yeah, I think it was
fill out.
We were late leaving Baltimore.
Yeah,
that's what held us
up.
up.
If you are a pilot, tell us what paperwork you have to fill out before the flight. I guess you got to put the log in, but that shouldn't take 20 minutes to say where you're going.
Right.
If it's already there.
Well, there was nothing worse than when we had to fly Spirit back from Aruba, and dude was like, "Oh yeah, it was in Fort Lauderdale." Mechanical error. Then mechanical error said, "Oh yeah, there's no flight going out tonight." I said, "What?"
You did the Soldier Boy face. What?
Flight? No flight? What you mean? No flight? But,
oh my goodness!
But yeah,
that's a whole nother thing. We were on Spirit before Spirit became the horriblest flight ever.
Spirit says, "Hey, we're the home of the Bear Fair."
BARE.
I'm like, yeah,
so
I'm never flying Spirit ever again. My knees can't take it.
Southwest ain't that much better, but at least it's bags fly free.
Hey, bags fly free. But yeah, so we made it to Midway. But then, for a kid from Philly, Philadelphia area, South Jersey, who's been up and down the East Coast, to fly out west was amazing. I'm seeing all this land and the heartland. So I'm like, I see why they call this the heartland of America. So you're flying over that, then you fly over the Rockies, and you're seeing snow-capped mountains. Shay can tell you, I turned into a little-ass kid. I was like, Shay, look, snow mountains. We took pictures, and it was, pretty cool and dope. And then we get into Utah, and you see, the desert and stuff like that. And then flying to LA, it was pretty cool, too. And then we get off the plane in LA, and I see a fellow HBCU either alum or, you know, student, and she had on a Howard University jacket or shirt or whatever, and I look at her and I put it in my shirt because I wore my Hampton sweater that day, and I was like, look, the real one. She was like, all right. But that was cool, pretty cool. But I mean, LA was pretty dope. I mean, so I found out that In-N-Out Burger is pretty decent, but In-N-Out Burger on the West Coast is what Chick-fil-A is on the East Coast.
It's still disgusting if you ask me, but I get it. Everybody you have to like go through, you know, what are your major like tourist destination points that includes food and restaurants, and In-N-Out Burger is so West Coast, so it was immediate that we stopped there. We found one, not the one by the airport because that one
we went to the one
trash, but we went to one that was in Inglewood.
Yeah.
Which was pretty dope.
It was pretty cool. I mean, but I see
at least it was fresh.
Yeah, I mean, I see why In-N-Out Burger is what it is, but yeah, In-N-Out Burger on the West Coast is what Chick-fil-A is on the East Coast. So we flew into LA, and then we got a car, and we drove out to Vegas. Unfortunately, we did not get a chance to stop past the Marathon store and, you know, give respects to Nipsey Hussle and everything, either on our way out or back from Vegas, unfortunately, but that's another trip, another day. But LA was pretty cool. I see the smog driving on the 10 and the 15 and all that. I was like, oh, it's really smoggy out here. Like, it was, you know, all that. But I mean, it was pretty cool just to see a different city. You know, I saw LA as a kid growing up and watching movies, and the way the sunset was hitting over the, you know, the mountains and stuff like that. I was like, or the, you know, the way it was looking. I was like, hey, this reminded me of Terminator 2 or something like that. But it was pretty cool seeing all that. So if you haven't got a chance to fly out west, or if you haven't got a chance to fly out east, definitely take the opportunity, because, you know, you're missing an aspect of what you can actually see in this world, and the beauties of this country that we live in here in the U.S. And, you know, it's crazy how you go from forest on the East Coast and, you know, warm temperatures and humidity, you go out west, it's dry heat, but then you see the Rockies, you see the heartland, you see the desert. Like, it's very rare you have a country that has that type of topography, you know, 3,000 miles from east to west. So it's pretty cool, pretty dope.
Absolutely. And if you haven't got a chance to, I highly recommend, you know, you definitely head out west. There's just so much beauty out there. The land, the skies. Y'all know I was on my Instagram taking pictures of the sky.
Yeah, she was.
She even pulled over one day to let me grab like a dope sunset picture. So it's amazing when you can find somebody that you can go with that gets your corny. So thank you, babe, for allowing me to do that. And I did a little bit of his corny while we were out there too. We'll get to that in a bit. Yeah.
I mean, so we flew into LA, then we drove out to LA. I mean, drove out to Vegas.
So let me tell you why I did this. So, you know, as I was looking for flights and things like that, I realized that Will had never been to the West Coast, and I knew in the back of my head that he would enjoy driving that mountain, going through the valley of California, the hills, and seeing all that. Will is one of those people who loves topography, and so just being able to drive that and see it and experience it, to almost touch it, I knew that would be an amazing experience for him. And so I was like, why don't we fly into LA and then drive
Plus
to Vegas?
Plus, it was inexpensive to fly into LA compared to flying into Vegas.
Absolutely. There was a poker tournament going on that weekend, so it was like crazy amount of expensiveness for flights. And so flying into LA was more cost effective. We rented a car, but I knew that Will would love seeing that. And so that's why I pushed for it.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing and dope, and I was just so like, oh, this is...
He was literally a kid in a candy store.
I was like, yo, look at this mountains. Like, you don't understand, like, the importance of seeing mountains for me. Like, it's just, like, when we drove...
That's his happy place.
It is my happy place. Like, I'm not going to say I'm a wilderness type of person, but I am the type of person that would like to have a cabin up in the mountains. That's the type of person I am. But we saw mountains, like, about a year ago when we had just got let go from our jobs. And we'll talk about that in a little bit, too. But we were out in Northern Virginia. And...
For those who don't know, yes, Virginia has mountains.
And we're out in Northern Virginia, and we took the long way home.
Up through
Pennsylvania, but coming through, like, you know, West Virginia, parts of that and everything. And just, like, we were driving along this mountain ridge, and I was like, yo, this is amazing. And I've been telling Shay since then, I was like, I want to see mountains. If I moved it anywhere else to, you know, have another home or whatever like that, it has to be where we can see mountains. It'll be, you know, either enjoy the scenery that way. So flying out west was, awesome and amazing to me. So we drove into Vegas. I unfortunately fell asleep. Was getting sleepy because I didn't sleep on the plane. Shay did, and by the time we got towards, I think it was was it Zizix or somewhere?
Oh yeah. So we were literally driving at night through the mountains on our way from LA to Vegas.
I mean, we passed Barstow. I think we passed Victorville.
And what is that, the 15?
Yeah, we're on the 15.
And
I-15.
There's this place called ZXY. I think that's how you say it.
ZZYXZ or something like that.
It's called Zizix. It's the dopest name ever.
I thought it was ZZ Top or something like that. ZZ Top? No?
And that's where we pulled over to switch.
Aging myself, guys. Yeah, ZZ Top. So yeah, we pulled over and we switched, and I fell asleep, and then Shay got to drive in and see the town all lit up that night. And we, when I woke up, we pulled up to my cousin's house who lives in Vegas, and shouts out to Allison and Chris and Ben and CJ and Dash and Sonny. Yeah, I thought the dog's name, Sonny, for having us out there and staying. It was so amazing just to kick it with them. Had a whole wing to ourselves, just about for Shay and I, and then of course the hot tub and the pool, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But we was out there, and then the next day we go on the strip.
Yeah, we did the strip.
We did the strip for we did half of the strip for a day.
Well, we didn't know there's an old strip and a new strip.
Yeah,
so the old strip
Vegas.
is Old Vegas.
That's Fremont.
And the new strip is, of course, Las Vegas Boulevard with all of the, Eiffel Tower and all that. We did the Miracle
Paris,
Mile.
New York.
The shops at the Miracle Mile. The wedding was at Planet Hollywood, so we were right there in the middle of kind of everything. It was definitely hot, but we had a good time.
It wasn't as hot as I thought it was. I mean, people were stopping you on the street to talk to you, trying to get you to do something. Then we were like, yeah, we're staying here. Depending on Hollywood. Oh, come stay with us next time. Let me get your information. I was like, nah, chill out, relax. Yeah. I mean, I've come to the realization that we're old. And I was like, yeah, this trip thing is not for me. So, I mean, we had fun. We went out, we had drinks. We had fun a little bit on the strip, but we had more fun off the strip. So we, went around, looked at Vegas, drove around, saw this, saw that, stopped here, had, basically everything's all you can eat for 2 hours. So, during certain times of the day at most restaurants. The gas is, slightly more expensive by $1 compared to here in Jersey. It's $1 more, It's
them dollars add up.
Them dollars do add up. You do need a car in Vegas.
That car.
You do need a car in Vegas.
Our car is $30 to fill up. That was $50.
It was $50 to fill up. I was like, man, what's all this? Come on, why I gotta pay all this gas for? What else did we do there? I mean, that was the first day, and then the next day, which was the wedding. We got there early. The wedding, went off without any hitches for the most part. Dana was looking very amazing in her dress. Yancy was looking very good in the suit. The groomsmen looked very well in their suits. So did the bridesmaids in their dresses. Everyone, came with love and happiness, and wanted to share that with, the family. And we had fun at the reception. I emceed the reception. Shouts out to DJ Baby Drew, who was DJ for the ceremony and the reception. Shouts out to Phil and everybody, Mark, who came out, Gavin, the brothers of Gamma Iota, Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. Shouts out to everyone who was just part of New Face and Hampton University and family from Queens that came down. It was just an amazing event, and we had tons of fun. Yeah, anything to add about that? So, I mean, you coordinated the wedding. This is your first wedding that is on a whole nother coast. It was almost like a destination wedding.
It was a destination.
Or a foray into going into more destination weddings for you.
But they had done a lot. So, me coming in just kind of handling day of logistics, they had already done so much. So I can't say that I was, coordinator of it all. Not at all. They had handled so much. My job was kind of just coming in, making sure that the day of logistics and things like that ran very smoothly. So, I did have to, be out there, in my, wedding hat coordinator, just kind of running around the day of the, for the past 2 days that we were out, the first 2 days, not the past two, sorry. The first 2 days when we were out there, just kind of getting out all the things, tying up loose ends, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But I really didn't have a whole lot this time.
We didn't. She didn't have to put me to work.
Yeah, this was the one of them that was kind of like they handled a lot of it on their own. So shout out to them for even doing that, because that's a lot, period.
It was a lot. But they were out there since like Wednesday, Tuesday.
Yeah, so they definitely did a lot. But it was beautiful, and this was probably one of my first weddings that I've been able to just kind of
coast it.
Not necessarily coast it, because I still had a lot to do, but just enjoy it. Right. Like really not necessarily from a coordinator standpoint, but as a friend,
Awesome.
And actually was able to sit down and enjoy, jump on the dance floor sometimes, and do a little bit of that. So that was dope.
Oh yeah. Then after the wedding was over, we went to that was Saturday, right? After the wedding was over.
So after the wedding was early. Over early on Saturday. Yeah. We came back.
We came back and we kicked it in the pool, and my cousin's neighbors came down, found out that they have like this thing in their little cul-de-sac communities, like 9 houses, where they jump from house to house with other people.
Literally a pool hop.
It's just like a pool hop, because everyone just about has a pool in their neighborhood, and it was just amazing to someone experienced that and got to see things. And my cousin Allison, she was like, "Will, I see your mind turning. You're looking, you're early 30s. You have time. This will all come in time." And I think that myself, and especially us as men and women who are somewhat control freaks, if you will, you see something, you want something, and you figuring out a way how to get it then, there, and now. When you have to sit back and realize that, especially within our generation, and I say that even early millennial, late millennial, Gen Z, whatever you want to call it, we are looking for, okay, I want what you have now. Where it takes time to build up. And I had to sit back and realize that, especially, because I tell you this, we saw stars out in the desert. One of the neighbors had this bomb behind pool, with the waterfall and the slide with a little tiki bar in the pool.
It wasn't filled yet.
It wasn't filled, but he was getting sandblasted.
Yeah.
But it was
But I got in there. I got in the 8 feet before the water was in there, and that was dope.
Yeah, Shay looks like a little ant in compared to it. But, it was just like, I want this. Her, my cousin and the neighbor, they both had these boats. And I was like, I wanted a little speed boat, whatever, to take it out to the lake and whatever. But it was just, I had to sit back in my mind. And this is just, a PSA announcement for everyone. We know what we want, but it takes time. It takes that grooming for it. You just can't get it. That's what happens with lottery winners. People who win the lottery, they start buying everything, or they get that piece of cash or from a life insurance element, and they just burn it through the cash. But sometimes in life, you are getting groomed for that next level, and you have to just take part of the growing pains with it. And I'm speaking that as I'm going through growing pains right now, dealing with the fact that, a year ago, I was fired from my job, and I was hurting, financially. A couple months later, Shay and I both, because we both were let go from our jobs. So it's something now that we're in this, and we pray every day about it, this lifestyle, this season of resurrection, where you're just like, you know what? It's going to come back around. It's going to make it work, because we're in the right predicament now that we, back to work, we're doing this thing here, and making it work to the next level. So I'm just very, very happy to have experienced that the evening, just, having a great conversation with the neighbors and talking to them and telling them about my business and Shay's business and, what we look to do and this and the third, which then, kind of teed off the next day when we met up with one of my former co-workers who became a very great friend for me, who also attended our wedding, Raylani, and we got to spend time with her and her family and her husband, and her husband took all of us to go kind of house hunting.
Yeah, that was dope.
Shay had fun house hunting. She
But y'all know I
like real fun house hunting.
I go house hunting for the interior design and to get inspiration and check out stuff. Will goes to like actually look at like what I want to buy. I'm totally not there for what I want to buy. I'm here for all the feels.
Except for that one time we almost bought a house again when you had us there. I was like, are we about to buy this house?
I'm really convincing, man. Not even convinced Will.
I was like, oh, we're really about to buy this right now. Oh, okay. I'm sitting there, and then the lady's like, okay, well, we'll do this right now. And Shay's like, let me think about it. And I was like, oh, yeah, let's think about it. That was pretty fun. But, we got to see, like, these amazing models. I think, we found out that, Vegas doesn't have, like, a drainage system. So, like, it rain. What are you doing?
I was scrolling on Twitter to find something that I wanted to share, and you know how videos automatically play.
You're not really engaged with this conversation, Shay.
No, because I'm looking for something that I wanted to share.
Oh, see, this got me just talking. People probably bored as hell listening to me.
No, they're not.
Your turn. You talk. I'm putting my mic down.
So Will put his mic down, and I have to put my phone down because I can't talk and scroll at the same time. But I was trying to find an article that I read a couple days ago that I just wanted to bring up for later in the time period. But I will give my kind of caveat of how I felt about the West Coast. I am not a West Coast girl. I'll leave with that. I know for a fact I'm an East Coast girl, but I love visiting the West Coast. There's something beautiful and laid back and just so awesome about being on the West Coast. This is my first time being in Las Vegas, so I had never experienced like that whole being in a bowl with the mountains. It's beautiful. Kind of feeling, but I definitely loved and can see myself and my kids there at some point in the future, just having our own little piece of, square plot with the beautiful pool, because you have to have a pool out there. You have to have a pool out there, and you have to be able to, enjoy, your what you make and do that whole life balance. The thing that Will loves about Vegas is everything is 20 minutes. Because it's actually a really small city. It's growing, it's getting bigger, but it's really small. I wouldn't even consider it a big city, honestly. But it's a small city, and they don't even have an Amazon Dropbox. So I just wanted to let you know, the closest Amazon Dropbox is in LA. I just wanted to let everybody know.
What's the point of an Amazon Dropbox?
I'm just saying, that's how you know you have a big city, is when Amazon.
But there's an Amazon factory out there, or warehouse.
Yes, but there's no Dropbox. What's the point of the Dropbox? I'm just saying, that lets you know. Because most major cities have one, so you would feel like, oh, Las Vegas would have one.
So what's the point of having an Amazon Dropbox?
I'm just saying, I had to make a return, so I was looking for an Amazon Dropbox, but they don't have one, so you have to take the UPS.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
There was a UPS store?
There's plenty of them.
Okay, there you go. So there.
Oh, hush up. Anyways, so I thoroughly enjoyed myself, and like I said, I could see myself out there with the kids. Seems like a very wonderful family environment. The schools aren't the best, which everyone out there admitted, but yes, I love how there is a lot of opportunity, and your butt goes a little bit further, which is what I'm all for.
I mean, the school,
that's just Vegas proper.
That is Vegas proper.
Or Henderson, kind of the suburb.
I mean, this Clark County. I had fun. I mean, Shay said it, and she probably.
Are you back now?
I'm back. I picked up my mic. Shay said it, she's an East Coast girl, and she's like, I just like being by the water, but then like out there, no humidity. It was just regular dry heat. Yes, it can be as hot as 115 degrees. Everyone's inside. The energy doesn't, the energy cost is about, average around like $250 a month that they're paying in electricity. And now, solar's coming out there, so people are putting solar panels on their home to, to be on their own grid to pull energy forward, which cuts their energy costs, a little bit. But I just enjoyed it because, like Shay said, it's 20 minutes here, there, between certain things. Yes, there are cities have traffic, but it's a resort city. It has this and that.
It is. It's a destination city.
It's a destination city.
It's like living in a Tampa or
Miami. Miami's a destination city.
Or Fort Worth. Like, people go there for something.
Correct. people going there, go have fun and party, but that's mostly like, I grew up in South Jersey for the most part, understanding that it's a destination. It's on the people drive through here or come through here on their way to a destination, which is Atlantic City or other shore points.
It's a bigger Atlantic City.
It's a much bigger Atlantic City, but my thing is like I'm used to it. I was at the point like when we went house hunting on the low that I was like, yo, I can move out here.
We'll definitely do.
I did.
Like, can we send the kids?
Can we just figure it out? I asked my cousin, I was like, yo, how much is rent? She's like, you gotta get the kids first. I said, how much is rent? Because I'm ready to move out here.
Ready to go. Just do my thing. Out in Vegas.
So, it's like there's so much opportunity in Vegas, like especially for my business, especially with the Raiders coming. Like I have an opportunity right now to like become hopefully the custom clothier for the Raiders, if that's the case. And still my job currently, who I work for, I could probably transfer. After like after my first 18 months, getting out there and stuff like that. So I'm just looking to have an opportunity to grow, and especially we have friends and family who also live on the West Coast. Like I got to see one of my closest friends after 10 years. We haven't seen each other in almost 10 years, so I got to see him, and then our other good friends. You heard them on the podcast, Major and Lyric. They're in Portland, and like, hey, you guys move to Vegas. We're up here in Portland. We can change it back and forth between like, hey, you guys want to come up here? You guys want to come down there? So it was just like I felt more comfortable a little bit there because on the East Coast it's great. I love it. I grew up here. You can touch major cities. A lot of our
friends over here too, babe.
Correct. But I'm like, I can't. I'm at the point now where I'm like, I can't stay in one place. This is me speaking selfishly. I don't want to stay in one place just because of, family's here or your friends are here. Like, all right, cool. I'm gonna go somewhere else. They can come and visit. and what's crazy is that at first I was like, I'm not going to share this, but my mother texted us when we got back and said, hey, how was Vegas? When y'all moving out there, I want to visit. So to me, that was like confirmation saying like, all right, now let's work on a goal to get there within the next, 24 to 36 months. Yes, that's 2 to 3 years, but let's make a plan to make it happen. So again, it goes back to what I said earlier. If you see something, you want something, work towards it, create a plan towards it, pray about it, work on it to get there, especially if you have kids. Because the main transition for us would be taking London and Christian out there. And if we did it now, it wouldn't really affect them as much as if they were in junior high or high school. So that's my spiel. I liked it. I loved it. West Coast, I'm coming back. We're going to do it annually now.
We're coming back. Yeah, and that's kind of what I wanted to mention, is I plan on, doing this annually. And the reason is why I think it's super important to give your kids exposure. And so, one of the things that I was able to do with my parents was, travel to different places. So I was, at a young age, traveling to the West Coast, visiting the West Coast. I visited as an adult. And so being able to give my kids that same opportunity is something that I want to do. So I'm really looking forward to my, what do you call it when you're married into it? My in-law West Coast family. I know they're Will's cousins, but they opened their heart and their home and everything to me, just like I was a part of their family. We all bonded, we laughed. Let me tell y'all something, like...
My cousin Chris kept trying to put a beer in my hand. I'm like, I'm good. No more beer.
So let me tell you this, so I come from a very big Southern.
Oh, and we had Korean barbecue. I had Korean barbecue for the first time.
Will is just dying to cut me off.
Mansplaining.
He is mansplaining. But so, our family is very big. We're very affectionate. We're very loving. It was so good to have that out there with his family. His cousins ran out, hugged me, and just made me feel so good from day one. And when I tell you, the two of them, oh my goodness. So there were bubbles in a hot tub. That's all I'm gonna say. Which is right up my alley of kookiness.
Allison put bubbles in the hot tub, and it was so many bubbles. We were just stuck in bubbles.
Yeah, I was tripping. Y'all know that's something I would love to do. So the fact that there was somebody that was corny enough to do it, we were doing backflips. We are grown adults
Chris
in our
was doing
40s.
backflips. You
Shay was
jumping
just
in. I had a cramp and I couldn't.
Will did not want to jump into the pool.
Nope, didn't want to jump. Last time I jumped into a pool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You didn't have no reason not to right now.
So I didn't want to jump in the pool.
I was jumping on the trampoline. I was having myself a grand old time.
No, let me tell you something about the God out there too. Like right now, the NBA Finals is going on. Right, Game 2.
Oh, we in the finals?
Yeah, the NBA Finals is going on.
Who's in the finals?
Toronto and Golden State. Toronto's at 3-1. Toronto looks like they might win.
I hope they do, because I did not want another Golden State win. Nobody does.
I was hoping that they would win one last time to close out the Oracle Arena in Oakland, and then give Oakland one last win before they moved out. But besides that, the game came on. It's scheduled at 8:00 Eastern. It came on at 5:00 Western time, right, Pacific time. I had the whole night to figure out what to do next. I was like, yo, what can I do next? And I was talking to Major. Shouts out to Major, love you, bro. He was like, yo, it hit different, don't it? You got something to do. After like, yeah, I can figure out to do something. Let's go do this. So it was, and you find out that you wake up to football on Sundays, like, games come on at 1, but it's 10:00 in the morning and games pop on. So you're like, oh, there's the game. So yeah, I mean, I'm down for it. West Coast, I want the West Coast. Period.
Okay. And there you have it.
Mic drop.
I did not make it to the ocean. I always like to go, touch my feet into the ocean, catch
that was a
sunset.
Very trafficy drive.
Will found LA traffic.
Not a fan.
Not a fan at all. And so, our next trip out there, we'll definitely do that. But after Vegas, so life after Vegas has been.
I want to go back so bad.
Will has, as he started off the podcast, he's still on West Coast time. He still thinks it's 12 o'clock. When it's clearly not. I don't think I ever switched over. I think I've always been on East Coast time because I was able to just jump right back into it. But I kind of wanted to segue into kind of our second topic, which is, I call it embracing your vulnerability. Actually, I got that from Will. So, as most of you guys know who have been keeping up with the podcast, I started a new job up in North Jersey. And so, I've been commuting daily to North Jersey for this job where I'm doing social media management. I'm super happy, super excited, but I was getting, one of the things that I really prided myself on was how quick I'm able to grasp a lot of stuff. So for a lot of things, I'm just able to really just get in there, pick it up really quick and run with it. That's kind of one of my strengths, is how quickly I can, grasp things about an organization and move forward. So any of my previous jobs, even contract jobs, I've been able to get in very quickly and within the first week or two, just get into the groove. Not so much at this one. It's just been really hard to, kind of find my lane, my swag. And so I, keeping up with my new moon intentions for those who follow me on Instagram. The new moon was actually, I think that was Monday night. Either Monday night Monday night. We were still out in Vegas. We hadn't left yet. And so I had started my kind of new moon ritual, but I was out there, so I really didn't get into it. But I had been feeling hesitations, and I had been feeling anxiety and worry and stress and vulnerable about coming back to the job because I just wasn't sure how I would perform, and I didn't want to perform badly. So finally, we get back, I get into it, I'm not having, the success that I want. So I just shared it with Will, and he was like, embrace your vulnerability. He was just like, oh, that's what you need to do.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? How does one embrace vulnerability? And so in breaking down kind of all the things that have been happening, I'm massaging a new work skill. So for most people, who know me and kind of know my work history, I have been strictly on the communication side of things in corporate world, and now I switched over to the marketing side. And so I'm learning a whole new And so it's been a bit slow for me, to pick up things. I'm not picking them up as quick as I used to. And it's not that I, am not trying. It's just literally there's so many things happening that I'm having trouble just kind of grasping it all. And so I'm trying to focus on the things that I'm really good at, the things that I know I can do, and push that forward. And at the same time, just kind of make sure I'm, very quickly learning and grasping all these other things. So here I am, and, I had a rough start coming back, and then I have a great past 2 days. So what happened was when Will was like, embrace your vulnerability, I started thinking to myself and I started praying, and I was like, you know what, this is one of my, I won't call it a weakness, but it's not one of my strong suits, is to expose my vulnerable side. I don't like doing it in relationships. I don't like doing it at work. I don't like doing it at home. But I realized that I needed to. I needed to just take a step back and say I need help. But not only that, I needed to become a student of my craft. So I accepted this position, knowing full and well I'm capable of doing all of this. I just hadn't done my, due diligence to read up on, everything and be a student of my craft. So I went back these past 2 days, and literally every day I'm reading something new about my job. I'm taking myself out of the doer kind of role and putting myself into the student role, and just really trying to hone in and understand and read up on as much stuff about marketing that I can. It's not that I don't know, it's just I haven't had to massage that skill since like 4 years ago. So a lot of stuff I've heard, a lot of stuff I've been in the conversations with, but then now I'm actually doing it. And so it's a bit scary because I also don't want to, come off that I'm not doing anything. But I think there was a time period where I just didn't feel comfortable, and it could be because, I haven't this is my 4th week going into it, and I still haven't worked a full week. Whether it's been a holiday or, we were traveling or whatnot, this is my first full week going into the job next week, when this comes out. So my goal is to hopefully, really can truly, first 30 days, learn as much as I can, and then start actually doing some action steps for my next 60 and 90 days. The good news is I'm finally getting into the groove of things. I think everybody has been really understanding that I'm still new. I'm still trying to figure things out. But just for my own internal timeline, my own internal clock, allowing myself to be vulnerable, allowing myself to make mistakes, allowing myself to just get in there and get acclimated. So I thank you, babe, and I think there's so many others who have, whether it's on social media or I reached out and they were just like, hey, just keeping you in prayer and thought, through your transition. So thanks, boo.
You're welcome. Like Shay said, I just told her that you have to embrace it. You have to embrace that vulnerability. We run from it. People don't want to say that they're vulnerable. People don't want to show weakness. But you have to. For me, or as any, young man having a kid the first time, I felt very vulnerable. And at first I ran from it, but then years later I just jumped full-fledged into it. So, to correlate that to your stories, that you have to just jump into your vulnerability and just understand, what do I feel vulnerable at? So I became, I had to learn how to communicate. For me, in becoming a parent or in a relationship, you have to, if you're going to get into a relationship with anyone, you have to show your vulnerability. You have to show that you're vulnerable, because the thing is, if you're coming in stone hard, secured up wall, your relationship is not going to work. You're walking into any new situation, it's not going to work. So I think that anytime you walk into anything, new job, new relationship, a new venture in life, you have to show your vulnerable side, because it's show it to those who you feel comfortable with and embrace it. But you have to embrace that. You have to be the first to embrace it. You have to be the first one to embrace it. You have to embrace it and then share it for who you feel comfortable with, and then know that it's not going to define you, but it makes you stronger, because now you understand. You're going to move forward from it and just keep pushing. So that's another great thing. Thank you for sharing that with us. Because like I said, this season we're going to get very transparent about who we are, and so that you can be transparent in who you are as well too.
And I think it's so important when you do, because it's the first step in acknowledging that there is something wrong. So it wasn't that there was something wrong with the job. It wasn't necessarily there was something wrong with the task. It's just I wasn't moving in the way that I wanted to. Instead of keeping it bottled up, I shared it with Will. And I think that's the first step to cracking that window, to let some air get into the situation, so to speak, and be able to talk about it. And Will did. I had to dig down deep and figure out what my insecurity was. My insecurity was I wasn't performing the way that I had done previously, because I just wasn't sure about the decisions that I was making. I didn't have a good grasp on everything. And so Will's recommendation was to pause and to allow yourself to understand that there's some times in some situations when you will be vulnerable, and that's okay. You don't have to be the best at everything. You just have to show up and give your best every day. And I think that is a key difference. So there is we want to aspire to do our best and to be the best at what we do. But sometimes you have to realize I'm not there yet. Kind of like how Will was talking about previously, how he was in the homes and he was like, you know what, let me try to figure this out right now. I'm trying to put this all together right now. We aren't there yet. We just got back into the groove of being 9 to 5, both of us, working at our jobs. We still have a lot of debt that we need to pay off to make ourselves, financially secure. We've been praying for it. It's something that we're working towards. I have to do the same thing, and I encourage you, if there's a situation that you are feeling vulnerable in, that you do the same thing. Take a step back, look at the situation and say, I'm feeling vulnerable. This is what I need to do in order to get to the next space. Sometimes you need that accountability partner.
Yeah, and that's why I'm glad you said the accountability partner, because for me, it's like I want to do these things right now. And every time I feel like, your life is your life, and you have to go through certain things to make you better for your next level to come. So, like, Shay's great for being my accountability partner and vice versa, because we bring each other to Shay brings me from the clouds to say, all right, look, we gotta do this. And I bring Shay up from the ground. I'm saying, you can do it. You just have to do this. So we meet each other in the middle for when one of us is going too high or one of us feels too low. And it balances out to make our relationship stronger. And we hope that, our children are watching us doing that for each other so they can do it for each other as they get older and when they get into their relationships later in life. But it's just, you're almost there. You just have to just understand that your life is your life. It's going to make you better for the next level to come. Have someone in your corner who's going to keep you accountable so that when that next, I'm saying with the day when we become fully debt free, we're praying that 2019 is over and 2020, we're going in debt free. We've been groomed for that over the last couple of years, so that in 2020 and going forward, that we're ready for what's next to come and prepared for, if that is a move to Vegas, bringing a different type of culture into that area, and doing things, or whether we stay here on the East Coast and doing things that we've been doing, but doing it 10 times better than what we did before. So it's just...
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just amazing. Shay, I truly appreciate you. I love you.
I love you too, babe. And I definitely encourage those who are listening, when you have those vulnerable moments, understand it. That's why I think setting your intentions each new moon is so important. And I know a lot of people get kind of turned off by the mysticism and magic, and they're like, ooh, what you cooking up in the kitchen? It's not any of that. I do it as prayer. And I know you can go online and you'll see a whole lot if you just type in magic with a K, MAGICK, on Instagram or on Pinterest or anything like that. You get a whole host of whatever stuff. And it may not fit your life, so I made it fit something that was in my life. I added to what was already there. And so when I set my intentions, I do it with Will, and we've been working on it together. So it's our intentions are our goals. We want to be debt free. We want to be, in careers, steady careers, so that we can, pay down the things that we have to and get ourselves back to where we want to go. And understanding that may make a shift that makes us uncomfortable, but we take that that shift that
hella
makes us uncomfortable and realize that there's no growth without change. And so we have to be able to deal with the change. We have to be able to show we can deal with the change. And I think that's important too. That's an important caveat, is there's always someone watching, whether it be your kids, whether it be friends, whether it be family members, whomever, someone who may be an influencer to you later on in life. Someone's always watching, and how you deal with change is so important because it really sets up how you deal with what comes next. So if you always deal with change in the negative, like, oh man, this happened to me, and had I taken the situation and been like, man, I'm never going to make this job work, I'm failing at this, I'm doing this wrong. To me, that's unacceptable. I'm always going to come with a positive attitude. I'm always going to try to give my best. If I don't understand something, I'm going to ask questions and not be afraid. I'm not going to be afraid to push back on stuff that I don't feel like is wrong. And move forward that way. It's a process. It takes, however long your process takes. It could take as long as 2-3 days, or it could take 2-3 months. 2-3 years, whatever your process is, you got to be able to understand that change and that feeling of vulnerability is a part of that process. Mm-hmm. And when you come out of that, when you finally come up out that canyon, you finally cross that mountain. And I think that was what's so important, was that Will and I saw the mountains, because we have been in a valley for so long. We have been in a valley because a year ago our lives looked so different. We couldn't even plan a trip because we couldn't even figure out how to get through the next day. Like, we were literally living day to day. And maybe that was a good thing, because it showed us the importance of, connecting with each other.
No, it did.
Being able to, anticipate different things with each other and connect. And now we can plan, all right, maybe we can't do 6 months, but we can do, 2-3 weeks. We got you. If your event is coming up in 2-3 weeks, we got you. We gonna be there. We cool. Yeah.
I'm thinking back on it, it's just like, wow. My meeting let go was Thursday, a year from Thursday, this past Thursday the 6th. And I was like, yo, I'm truly thankful and grateful. And I share it with everyone. I share that vulnerability. I'm like, yo, I gotta let go. I have a wife, 2 kids, mortgage and car notes, and bills that were stacking up relentlessly. And we made it through. And then we talk about all the time. That's grace and mercy. That's favor.
Absolutely.
I'd say every time, God didn't bring us this far to fail.
Not at all.
So,
and we still believe that, even though we have current jobs right now that are well paying and we're doing our best, we're still
climbing up.
Yeah.
We're still climbing up.
But that's why I said it was so important that we saw the mountains, because I think we've reached, what is that with Mount Everest? We've reached
the summit.
Base camp summit. Not the one at the bottom, but we've reached summit base camp. This is where, and to be honest, this is one of the most vulnerable times when you're climbing a mountain. Because for those who don't know, the oxygen gets very thin up there. And a lot of times people's bodies just can't handle it. It's so much transition from the summit to that base camp. So base camp is where you're safe, but you still have to ascend to the top.
And that air gets a little thin.
And so Will and I we're walking and we're feeling that pressure. We're feeling the change. We're feeling thin air. But God is so good and gracious, and we're so excited that we're moving forward, that we're going to summit and we're going to come back stronger than ever. And so, being able to see the mountains, to be able to connect that with our spiritual journey, to connect our spiritual journey with our physical journey was just so powerful. And to be connected with good family, good friends, good food. As Will said, he had Korean barbecue for the first time. And just be able to experience some things that are very different. I think that was the major thing that Will was just kind of like enthralled was this is the first time he had crossed the time zone, and that may seem small.
We did when we flew. Where did we fly last time?
I'm saying the whole time. No, not for Aruba. Aruba was
no. We had a connecting flight during we were going to Atlanta. We had connected to Columbus and then.
But I mean, for you, it was really like being overnight.
Overnight, yeah.
An extended period of time. Yeah. And now Will does not want to come back.
I don't. I want to go back to the West. West Coast, West Coast. All my friends are from the West Coast. That's the funny part.
There you go. It could be calling. And I'm a firm believer when things speaks to you. So Will always is like, Shay, what does he mean by when stuff like speaks to you? When you just feel something. I think he gets it now because now he's like, I felt something.
I did.
And when you feel something, like you
it's
want
amazing
that.
When you're in the desert. You're in the desert. You're in the Mojave Desert.
Yes, drove through the
Death Valley is not too far. And you look up and you can see a snow-capped mountain, Mount Charleston. You see mountain ranges all the way around. It's like Vegas is in a valley, almost like a bowl, and there's mountain ranges that just about surround it. And then you're driving, and it says you're going to an elevation of 4,000 feet in the air. I never got a chance to really experience that. I went on nature hikes and stuff like that, in the Poconos and whatnot. That was cool and whatnot, but going out there, that was amazing to me. That was something totally different. I'm with it. Maybe, and I told you, maybe because I did reports back in the day on Buffalo Soldiers, Black Cowboys, and stuff like that.
Which is coming back in style.
So I'm just going to take my horse on the Old Town Road.
He really wanted to go find a horse and just ride around.
Got the horses on the back. I mean, so I'm just. That's where I felt very comfortable, and I'm getting readjusted being back home because I'm yearning for it. I'm looking at this. I'm probably stressing myself out looking at, look at this house. But Shay kind of got enthralled into it with me. She's like, let me see it. I want to see it. What's the house look like? I was like, cool, this is what it looks like, so on and so forth. So I'm ready when she's ready. I'm ready when God gives us the ability to do it. So
no, he's just gonna have to pack me up, put me in the car, because I'm gonna be like, no.
I'm sitting Shay jobs look, apply for the Raiders job.
I'm like, dude, I just got my job. I ain't even been there a whole week yet.
Right.
Will's been at his job for 4 months now?
4 months.
4 months. So, there's still a lot of things that we have to work on, but I think it's wonderful that Will finally understands what it means to have that feeling, that yearning, that urge. When something hits you, you just know, and it feels good. You just I just know it. I can't explain it. I just know it. And now that's how I feel when I walk into a house. When I have to make big decisions, I go with that gut feeling because it feels good, and I know it's right.
It felt very similar to when I heard that voice say, "Go get her because she's leaving."
And there you go. And I told Will I will follow him because as the man of this household, him and Guy have to work some things out to move some chess pieces around to get us out there. But if that's where, our talents will be best utilized, then West Coast it is. I won't call it the best coast, babe, but I'll just say West Coast is where it is.
Where it's at.
And Vegas isn't actually on a coast, just so you know.
This is West Coast time.
It is actually in a landlocked state. And I've never lived in a landlocked state before.
There's lakes. But that's that. But
and I would love to do a summer home. So Will's cousins have a cabin in Utah. I would love to do a cabin on the lake, and have that as our summer. Go in with some friends and get a really
major lyrical listening. We're talking about Tahoe, baby.
Yeah, I would love to have a nice major, big old crib where it's beautiful, it's renovated, it's modern. Not one of them rustic cabins that's scary.
We'll talk about it.
Spiders and all that stuff.
It's going to be around.
But yeah, I would love to do that on a lake out there.
We'll figure it out.
Okay.
We'll figure it out.
Okay. I like that. We'll figure it out. So yeah, that's my spiel on embracing your vulnerability.
Yeah. Well, I think that's all we got. We talked about travel. We talked about experiencing vulnerability. We talked about understanding where you are and where you're going to go, and you can't force it, but allow yourself to become groomed for it.
I do want to add one more thing now to that whole spiel, that I think I had a great conversation with a good friend last night, Kia. Hey girl. She was just talking about how when it's time to go. And I think that's another part that, we often don't talk about. One of the things is, not only does God give you indications and things when it's time to take heed and push forward, but he also tells you when things are expired, when it's time to release it. And so Will and I had been, previously before we had gotten let go, we had been at our jobs for a really, really long time, and it was probably time to go. And we were just comfortable. And so
I was praying to leave, and God let me out on his own time. Compared to my time.
Will had a different plan for how he wanted to make his exit strategy. But I'm talking about the job that you had before then.
Oh, yeah.
And so I always think it's important that you understand sometimes the universe guides no. And when he says no, that means it's not for you. And you have to be okay with that. I am one of those individuals who tries to listen to, nudges, spiritual nudges. Like I said, I could get into the whole mysticism aspect of it all, but I think it's one of those things where you just
call it mysticism. I call it spirituality.
Okay, spirituality. You just have to be connected to the spirit. And so being able to discern, and that's one of the things Will and I pray for. For those who don't know, Will and I pray just about every morning together. And it really has transformed our lives, our marriage, and our family. We feel, correct me if I'm wrong, babe, I don't want to speak for you, but I feel like we are stronger. We are better prepared for the things that happen, and we have less emotional reactions toward things. We have a very much...
Especially at work.
Yes.
Especially at work. I'm like...
When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, we now look at the situation and say, all right, it's not the best. What can we do about it?
Correct.
Let's pray.
Correct.
So yeah, sometimes the universe tells you no, and you have to be okay with that. So I did want to speak onto that. Thank you, Kia, for just sharing your story and stuff with me last night. It was good to see you.
Yeah.
So yeah, did you want to talk about how Beyonce shoulder bumped old girl, or did you want to leave that out?
Oh, leave it out.
Because that was kind of funny.
Leave it
I
out.
laughed at it because I was.
But the thing is, I just posted a picture. I'm gonna post it again on the Two Cool Parents drink. Jay-Z got stuck in the middle between the conversation between her and Beyonce and another person a couple years ago. So at a basketball game, I think it was a Brooklyn game. So keep that same energy, babe.
For those who don't know, we might as well just end the podcast on
keep
this.
That same energy, babe.
But Beyonce and Jay-Z were at a Warriors game.
It was at the Warriors game.
It was at the Warriors game, and Beyonce was sitting next to the wife of the owner of the Warriors. And Jay-Z was, of course, next to her. So the wife of the Warriors owner leans over across Beyonce and has a conversation with Jay, and they're laughing and joking. And Beyonce kind of like, how you scoot your chair back and you like sit back in your chair to straighten up a little bit. Well, she accidentally or on purposely bumped old girl, as if to say, can you please get out my husband's face? So I completely agree with old girl. Beehive, you ain't coming for me because I stand for y'all. I love what she did. I just feel like we've all been there before. Like, why is this conversation happening across me? Why are y'all doing this? Can we get back to what we're supposed to be doing? And that's watching the game. Will took it a little bit different.
I don't think it's different.
You didn't think that's what she was doing?
Look.
You just thought it was funny.
I thought it was funny. Then I saw the other joint. I was like, well, Hov sat there. And why she was like, oh my God. And I'm like, okay. Go have a conversation. Men act different when it comes
Definitely.
to that. When you and someone else want to talk, we just sit back like, hey, look, you ain't got to talk to me right now. So I'm kind of happy.
But coming off of Lemonade and his previous action, she was like, is this Becky with the good hair part 2? No, I don't think so.
Shay, suck it.
Because Will is into his phone right now. Like, he was getting on me, and I was looking for an article. He is literally playing a game. He's playing a game on y'all right now. That's how he feels.
That's because I feel uninterested now. Put my microphone down.
So petty. Like what I tell y'all, if y'all don't know,
shouts out to Daryl for the petty for the back and forth petty. We were like, I'm King Richard Petty. I'm Petty LaBelle. I'm Petty Watt.
So people from Philly are petty.
I like petty pies.
Like I just have to let y'all know, give you that caveat. If you come to Philly, they are petty as hell for no reason, none whatsoever. And why is your phone dinging?
Yeah, my phone wasn't dinging. That was your phone.
It wasn't my phone.
Well, anyway, we're gonna sign off.
Okay. All right, everybody.
Like, subscribe, share. Two Cool Parents. Podcast on Instagram. Two Cool Parents.
Yes.
At Two Cool Parents.
Support us, share it.
At Two Cool Parents on Twitter. Support, share.
And also, we're gonna link to our businesses. You know, if you know somebody who needs a custom suit, definitely reach out. We're getting towards the end of wedding season. It is. But there might be, homecoming. We know it's prom season is just about over.
Prom is over. I can't do prom right now.
But graduation's over. The end of wedding season. Usually, wedding season now lasts through October, November. But if you have anything that you need for a suit, definitely hit up Will. And if you, any wedding or any social media stuff, reach out to me. We'll link our personal info in our bio as always. Thank you guys so much for your support. West Coast will be back out to visit you soon.
Yeah. And then hopefully live.
I know.
Permanent. I'm really down for it. I don't know if you know that, but yeah. We talked too much about it already.
No, listen. We're going to go back out there and we're going to have a good time. We're going to...
Take the kids this time.
I was just about to say that. We're going to take the kids. So our next West Coast trip, pray for us, y'all.
West Coasting.
Maybe we'll do it this fall.
Hey.
We should record from out there.
Lord willing. It's a lot of stuff to take.
I know.
We'll figure it out.
Maybe we can do some handheld ones.
Nah. I can't. If I'm going to do it, do it right.
Okay. Well, guys, maybe one day we'll be recording live from the West Coast.
Live.
That would be dope.
That would be dope. All right, y'all.
For now, we're signing off. We'll see you in...
Be good, be blessed,
a week
be happy.
Or 2 weeks?
We'll see you in a week. After next week. 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah. Couldn't get my mind right.